Hello everyone, Gentleman1234321 here, and today I wanted to talk about storage devices for your computer. Now, if you want to build a computer, you're going to need some storage, obviously, to store the operating system, games, software, antivirus, whatever. You need to have a storage device. That's bare bones what you need. Now, for storage, you really have three options. You have a hard disk drive, which I call it a hard drive disk, and I'm going to call it that from now on, which is HDD. A solid state drive, SSD, or a hybrid drive, which is SD, which is basically just a hard drive and a solid state drive put together. Now, first I'm going to talk about each individual one and show you the pros and cons of each. Let's get into it. Alright, first we're going to talk about hard drive disks. Hard drive disks are really the most common. They're used in basically the majority of computers out there in the world. They hold a lot of space, they perform pretty well, and they are cost effective, which is why many servers and other websites, they use hard drive disks to store all their data, because it's just more cost effective to use a hard drive disk. Now, bad things about hard drive disks is that they are physical. They are physical types of hard drives, not like an SSD. An SSD is basically RAM, so it's a lot faster. There's no moving parts. Hard drive disks have moving parts. That's when you hear that sound from a really old computer when you start it up. That's the sound of the hard drive. If you all look at your computer right now, or if you're watching on a phone, you can't see it, but if you look on your computer, you'll see a small light, not the power light or the reset light, but a small light. It's a circle, and it has almost like a can on top of it. That indicates when your system is accessing your storage. If you turn on your computer or reset it, you'll see the light come on basically all the time. That tells you that your system is accessing the storage. Now, hard drive disks are more prone to physical damage. So if you drop it, it's going to get messed up, which is kind of a bad thing, but obviously you're not going to be walking around with your computer. If you're watching on a phone or anything like that, phones use flash storage. That's a totally different kind of storage device, but you're not going to use flash storage for your computer. Alright, now we're going to get into solid state drives. Solid state drives, or SSDs, are much faster than hard drive disks. I know some people who've gone to solid state drives and have seen massive improvements in load time. Only in games that require hard drives, such as Battlefield 4. You know those long loading times when you're loading up the map? It's all accessing the data from your hard drive or solid state drive. Solid state drives are basically like RAM. Think of it as RAM. It is basically RAM. If you think of the RAM, the 8GB DDR3 or 2GB DDR5, it is basically like that, except if you cut the power to any of those two, DDR3, DDR5, the memory and information evaporates right away. However, with a solid state drive, you are able to hold on to it even if the power supply has been cut. So that's why it is much faster. There are no moving parts, and it can handle types of physical abuse. But I do not recommend like throwing it at a wall or something, because it's stupid. But yeah. So solid state drives are great for performance. They're great for gaming, depending on the game, of course, like Battlefield or something like that. But only this is the bad side about solid state drives. They are much more expensive than getting a hard drive. Hard drives, you can get much more storage for much less cost than the solid state drive with the same storage. You have to pay a lot more money for that. So basically, you need to weigh out the odds, and that's where hybrid drives come in. Hybrid drives are really a combination of the two. I don't know much about it. You have dual drive hybrid systems, and you have solid state hybrid systems, which are basically merging the two together. I don't know personally that much on hybrid drives. I know that they are faster than hard drives and slower than SSDs and cost about in the middle of the price. Personally, I do not see solid state drives becoming mainstream as the #1 storage device for computers and servers and all that stuff. It's just much more effective right now to have a hard drive disk. However, I do see them becoming much cheaper soon and much more cost effective, really, to what I just said. Hard drive disks are really, basically everyone has one. You probably have one in your computer, right? You're using it right now. What I would recommend is that if you're building a computer, I'd recommend go with a hard drive disk. It's just much more cost effective to your build. In the future, you can upgrade to a solid state drive. Now, upgrading to a solid state drive does not always improve your game performance, because game performance does not always need to use a hard drive or a solid state drive. Games such as, like I said before, Battlefield, those long loading times when you're loading in the map, that's because it's always accessing the hard drive. It just got to go through all that data. However, if you have an SSD, it'll load much faster. And this also goes with booting up your computer. When you hit... Okay, next time you guys are turning on your computer, I want you to look at the circle with the can, the white little can thing above it. That's to show when it's accessing the storage. Hit the power button and look at the light. You'll see it come popping on like crazy. It's booting up. It's getting all the memory all the information that it needs to from the storage devices. That shows you that I'm accessing the storage, which can be really slow because hard drive disks don't have much cache, really basically super fast memory. You can increase that in ready boost, but you can't really do that during boot up. But anyway, yeah, you have your 3 options: hard drive, solid state drive, and hybrid drive. I hope I helped you guys out coming up with a decision for this video. Well, that's really all I need to look forward to now. As always, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I'll be answering your comments as best as I can. Thank you for watching. Turtleman out.
Just lost a business problem.